Of the car engine was a familiar comfort to Hardik, a sound that usually signified a smooth journey. Today, however, it was a backdrop to a different kind of symphony, the patter of monsoon rain on the windshield, the swish of the wipers, and the frantic horns of other vehicles. He had started his journey from Sunav early, a decision made to beat the notorious traffic that plagued the route to Valetva. The first leg of the drive, from Sunav towards Bandhani, was a pure delight. The road was relatively empty, and a gentle drizzle had just begun, a precursor to the heavier downpour to come. It was the perfect weather for a drive. The air was cool and crisp, and the parched land of central Gujarat was slowly but surely transforming. Hardik's dashcam, mounted on the dashboard, was diligently capturing every frame. He was a landscape enthusiast, and the monsoon season in this region was his favorite time to drive. The brown fields, which had looked weary and lifeless just a week ago, were now vibrant sheets of emerald green. Small rivulets had formed on either side of the road, their banks lined with wildflowers in brilliant shades of yellow and purple. Clusters of palm trees stood tall and majestic, their fronds swaying gently in the wind. Hardik slowed down to appreciate the sight of a farmer on his tractor, a tiny figure against the vast, lush backdrop, a true picture of rural life in the rains. He couldn't help but smile, a deep sense of peace washing over him as he absorbed the beauty. But the tranquility was short lived. As he approached Bandhani, the traffic began to thicken. First, it was a few more trucks and buses. Then, as he passed the town, the road transformed into a chaotic river of vehicles. The gentle drizzle became a relentless downpour. The sky, which had been a soft grey, now looked angry and heavy. The journey from Bandhani to Valetva was a completely different experience. Hardik's car driving skills were put to the test. The very heavy traffic wasn't an exaggeration. It was a swirling mass of vehicles, each one a testament to the monsoon madness. Trucks lumbered past, splashing sheets of water onto his windshield, momentarily blinding him. Auto rickshaws weaved dangerously in and out of lanes, their drivers seemingly unbothered by the risk. The road, already slick with water, was a minefield of unseen potholes. He had to be constantly vigilant, his hands gripping the steering wheel, his eyes scanning for any potential hazard. His dashcam, once a tool for capturing beautiful scenery, was now a witness to the traffic nightmare. It recorded the honking cars, the frustrated faces, and the almost accidents that were a common sight on this stretch. Hardik felt his own calm give way to a simmering frustration. The progress was agonizingly slow, just a few feet at a time, each movement a small victory. He found solace in the details, in the tiny moments that broke through the chaos. A young boy in a bright yellow raincoat splashing in a puddle with a huge grin on his face. The smell of wet earth and rain-soaked asphalt mixing in the air. The sight of a roadside vendor huddled under a large umbrella, selling piping hot tea and bhajiyas. This is not just a record of the landscapes, but a vivid chronicle of a true monsoon drive in Gujarat, a testament to the dual nature of the season, its breathtaking beauty and its raw, unpredictable power. Hardik knew that the video would be a story in itself, a memory of a journey he would not soon forget. Monsoon in Gujarat. The monsoon season is from June to September. The region around Sunav, Bandhani and Valetva, which are in the Kheda district, can experience heavy rainfall and high humidity. The rain can lead to waterlogging and potholes, making driving difficult. The landscape transforms, becoming lush and green. Scenery. The Kheda district has various lakes and ponds, like Pariyej Lake and Khambhali Lake, which are likely to be particularly scenic during the monsoon. The landscape is generally rural with agricultural fields, which would be vibrant green at this time of year. Roads and traffic. The distance between Sunav and Bandhani is about 5 kilometers, and from Bandhani to Valetva is about 6 kilometers. These are very short distances, suggesting the heavy traffic would be concentrated and not a result of a long highway drive. Traffic could be caused by local congestion, waterlogged roads, or a sudden downpour. The roads mentioned are local and state highways, like the Nadiad Highway and GJSH 139. Based on this, I have more than enough information to write the story. I can describe the specific challenges of driving in the rain, poor visibility, slippery roads, the frustration of heavy traffic over a short distance, and then contrast it with the immense beauty of the countryside once the traffic eases. I can also incorporate details about the green fields, the wet tarmac reflecting the sky, and the overall atmosphere of a monsoon drive in rural Gujarat. No further searches are needed. The monsoon arrived in Gujarat not with a gentle pitter patter, but with a sudden dramatic flourish of dark clouds and a sky that turned from brilliant blue to an ominous grey. For Hardik, it was the perfect backdrop for a Sunday drive. The air was thick with the earthy scent of wet soil, a fragrance he had come to love since the first showers, and the world outside the car windows was a vibrant, saturated tapestry of greens. His journey began in Sunav, a small town with a laid back rhythm. As he set off towards Bandhani, the first drops of rain began to speckle his windshield, and he instinctively switched on the wipers. The drive was only a few kilometers, but the weather had other plans. What was normally a smooth 10-minute cruise quickly devolved into a crawl. The road, a narrow two-lane strip connecting the towns, became a choke point. Buses belching thick black smoke, motorbikes weaving precariously through the gaps, and local tractors piled high, with newly harvested fodder all vied for the same patch of wet asphalt. The heavy traffic the locals had warned him about was not an exaggeration. It was a slow motion symphony of horns and splashing tires. Hardik's dashcam, mounted on the dashboard, captured the scene in all its chaotic glory. The Vipers swished back and forth, fighting a losing battle against the torrential downpour. Poor visibility meant every driver was on high alert, their brake lights flashing like distressed fireflies in the mist. He could feel a knot of frustration tightening in his chest. This was not the peaceful drive he had envisioned. After what felt like an eternity, he finally saw the signs for Bandhani. The traffic began to thin as he navigated his way out of the town's choked artery and onto the highway that would take him to Valetva. It was a complete transformation. As if a curtain had been lifted, the dense urban chaos gave way to an open, expansive landscape. The monsoon had worked its magic, washing the entire countryside into a canvas of impossible beauty. The camera's lens widened to capture the full panorama. On either side of the road, the agricultural fields stretched out like a plush carpet of emerald velvet, the new crops swaying gently in the wind. The sky, while still overcast, had lightened, revealing pockets of bright silver that reflected off the puddles on the road. The puddles themselves became mirrors, capturing the ghostly silhouettes of the palm trees and the dense, green foliage that lined the road. Hardik's foot eased off the brake, and his car glided along the wet road. This was the Gujarat he had come to see. The frustration of the traffic melted away, replaced by a sense of deep peace. The air coming in through the vents was cool and fresh, carrying the scent of rain-soaked earth and blooming wild grass. He noticed the tiny details. A family of egrets, standing perfectly still in a rice paddy, a lone farmer in a bright blue raincoat tending to his fields, and the shimmering silver sheen on the leaves of a mango tree. The road now snaked through small villages, each house painted in cheerful pastels that popped against the grey sky. He passed by a small temple, its spire glistening with rainwater, and a group of children laughing and splashing in a roadside puddle. This was the raw, unedited beauty of the monsoon in rural Gujarat, a live broadcast from his dashcam to his soul. Hardik didn't mind the longer journey or the occasional splash from a passing truck. The drive from Bandhani to Valetva wasn't just a commute. It was an experience. It was a living, breathing landscape captured on his car's little black box, a testament to the simple fact that even after the most maddening of delays, a little patience can reward you with a scene of breathtaking, unforgettable beauty. To join our growing community and stay updated with all my latest content, please consider subscribing and tapping that bell icon. To join our growing community and stay updated with all my latest content, please consider subscribing and tapping that bell icon. To join our growing community and stay updated with all my latest content, please consider subscribing and tapping that bell icon.